Ancient Egyptian sarcophagus that slept for 3,000 years was dug up by accident. Inside was a petite mummy. Just as they were unwrapping the bandages to take archival photos, the mummy suddenly opened its eyes. The story's protagonist, Charlie, is a TV correspondent stationed abroad. He lives in Cairo, Egypt, with his wife Larissa and their 3 children, leading a peaceful and happy life. One day, while the girls were playing in the garden, a strange woman suddenly appeared. She called out their names softly through the wire fence, and claimed to be the mother of their good friend. The woman began performing simple magic tricks. Katie watched intently and gradually let down her guard. At that moment, Charlie accidentally discovered a pile of empty candy wrappers in his daughter's room. He called his wife, but she firmly stated on the other end of the line that she had never bought these candies for Katie. A sense of unease began to grow in Charlie's heart. He immediately found his son, who was watching cartoons, and after questioning him carefully, learned that his daughter had recently made a friend by the barbed wire fence, and that the candy had all been given to her by that friend. Charlie rushed to the garden to ask his daughter. In the garden, the woman gave Katie a bag of candy, and mentioned that she had a gift even sweeter than the candy, an apple she had grown herself.
I hope you can forgive me, Katie.
For what?
My final magic trick.
Suddenly, a beetle crawled out of the apple, crawled up Katie's body, and into her mouth. She immediately clutched her throat and collapsed to the ground. When Charlie arrived in the garden, he discovered a large hole had been torn in the barbed wire fence, and his daughter Katie was nowhere to be found. Charlie, frantic with worry, immediately crawled through the wire fence and rushed out onto the nearby street, calling out his daughter's name. Suddenly, the local sandstorm warning siren blared piercingly. A gale carrying yellow sand instantly swept across the entire street. Pedestrians scrambled in panic to get home. Amid the chaos, Charlie spotted a blurry figure in the distance holding a little girl. He immediately gave chase with all his might, but the sand stung his eyes so badly he couldn't keep them open. The figure eventually vanished into the sandstorm. Later, Charlie and his wife went to the police station. The chief called in a female officer to translate for them. When the couple explained that Katie had been lured away with candy, the chief said there was nothing he could do. He even coldly implied that it was the result of their failure as parents to supervise her properly.
What the fuck is your problem? Are you gonna fucking help us? Send someone out there to find her. Somebody took our child.
Time flew by, and 8 years had passed in the blink of an eye. Charlie's family left Egypt, the place of their heartbreak, and returned to the United States to start a new life. But the couple still hadn't forgotten their missing eldest daughter, Katie. In the desert of eastern Egypt, a young man was repairing his bicycle. Not far behind him in the sky, an airplane suddenly lost control and broke apart. The sound of the explosion immediately startled the young man. Curiosity drove him to cautiously walk into the woods and approach the crash site. The scene before him sent a chill down his spine. The wreckage was scattered all over the ground, and the 2 pilots had already died horribly at the scene. Terrified, the young man turned and fled the horrific scene, but in his panic, he tripped over a branch and fell to the ground. As he struggled to get back up, he was startled to find a stone sarcophagus standing right before him, clearly having fallen from the crashed plane. The sarcophagus was quickly delivered to the relevant authorities. When archaeologists learned that the sarcophagus had fallen from such a great height, yet remained completely intact, they were all deeply astonished. They then carefully opened the stone coffin. Inside lay a mummy tightly wrapped in bandages, so they began to unwrap the bandages from the mummy's body, in preparation for further study. But soon the archaeologists noticed something unusual. The mummy's fingernails had grown long. The long nails were yellowish and black, as if the body had continued to grow after death. This was unlike any mummy they had ever seen. The experts carefully unwrapped the bandages from the mummy's face, revealing the pale features of a young girl. Just as the female assistant was about to take a photo, a beetle suddenly crawled out of the girl's mouth. Charlie suddenly received a call from Egypt. The person on the other end of the line informed them that their daughter, who had been missing for 8 years, had been found. The news came as a bolt from the blue, leaving Charlie and his wife almost unable to believe it. They hurriedly packed their things and rushed to Egypt. But when they arrived at the hospital and met with the doctor, he solemnly told them to brace themselves. When they saw their daughter, tears instantly welled up in their eyes. Katie was deathly pale, her eyes vacant. They couldn't even begin to imagine what kind of torment their daughter had endured over those 8 years, to end up looking like this.
So strong. Her vitals are all perfect. Even under testing, we haven't observed her pulse rate rise above 85. Physically, she's strong. The comfort of home will be the best medicine to help return her from this locked-in state.
Charlie pleaded with the policewoman to help find the culprit. They then took Katie back to their home in the United States. When their other two children saw their sister's appearance, they were too afraid to approach her. After all, Katie looked far too eerie. Larissa's mother was a devout Christian. When she saw her granddaughter in that state, she immediately began to pray, but she never expected that her prayers would trigger such a violent reaction from Katie. Seeing this, Charlie and his wife rushed forward, holding the convulsing Katie down firmly, and quickly injecting a powerful sedative into her body. Only then did Katie gradually calm down.